Hello, my name is Courtney Potts, and I've been completing my internship here at Stratford Health Department, where I've been following the role as both clinician and administrator. I've been working with a great staff, and the woman that has been helping me along the way, Bernice Bova.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions so we can get to know you a little bit better. Where are you from?
I actually grew up in Bridgeport, and when I got married 30 years ago, I moved to Stratford.
Okay. And what inspired you to be a nurse?
I really originally did not go to school for nursing. I originally went for psych, and I'll be very honest with you folks. They told me I had to go to school for 5 years, and I said it's not going to happen. So I looked for another profession that I wanted to try, and that way I went into nursing.
Okay. Well, switching majors is very common. So.
Well, and I also came very close to not going into nursing, just like dental hygiene. Nursing is a very um, it requires a lot of work and a lot of different studies and a lot of different sciences. And my sophomore year in college was particularly difficult with every single one of the sciences we had to take. And no matter how hard I studied, my grades did not match the amount of studying I did. Well, back then, because it was such a long time ago, the everything was hand keyed into the computer. So instead of being into the school of NU for nursing, somebody accidentally put me in the school of BU for business. And I thought, maybe I might stay in business.
Well, we're glad you went back to nursing, Bernie. And where did you attend school again?
I went to UConn.
UConn. Okay. And where did you complete your internship?
Okay, internships we did a little differently. We had clinical sites up there. I was at Lawrence Memorial Hospital. I went to Hartford Hospital. I did some rotation with some of the school nurses. We went to a daycare, all sorts of different programs. And interestingly enough, my senior year, we actually had to do a teaching program at a daycare. And lo and behold, I did an oral health program with the kids. And who would have thought back then that I'd be in the oral health program here?
And speaking of the oral program here, what is your role in the Stratford Health Department?
Okay, I am the nurse. I'm the nursing supervisor, which means I have several different nursing duties as well. But I also run the dental program. We have a separate dental director over the clinicians, but I'm the coordinator, so in terms of looking at all of the other things that have to be done, which is exactly what you've been helping me with, because things just don't happen. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that have to happen in order for a clinic to function properly.
Yes, I've seen that. Again, completing my hours here, I've definitely seen how much work it takes, how much personal time it takes for you to accomplish all these programs. And how long have you been a nurse for?
34 years.
So
A lot of experience.
You have definitely given a lot of
and
years
I
of
can tell you too. I've learned from our clinicians that nursing and hygiene are sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that we function very similarly. A lot of the same goals and responsibilities and documentation.
Especially documentation. I've said a lot of documentation in nursing as well. And how did you achieve this position here?
Sheer luck. It was one of those things. I was teaching in a nursing program, in an LPN program, and a friend of mine had circulated an email about a position here at the health department. It was more of a health educator. So I said, let me see what it's about, and I called, and that position was already taken. But there was a nursing supervisor position open, so I interviewed for it, and I said, okay, this sounds really interesting, and I will tell you, from the moment that I stepped into this office, I learned a world of new things.
Mm-hmm.
You figure over 20 years of nursing, you figure you've probably seen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
public health is a totally different entity.
Did you ever think back then you'd be in the public health field?
Okay, I thought I was when I was doing home care. I was wrong. Okay, we are home care, visiting nurses, clinics. We're all in the same thing together. But actually, being a public health nursing supervisor, it's different. I never had a TB patient when I worked in the hospital on a respiratory floor. But the first week I was here, I ended up with my first TB patient. Go figure.
You would see that the first week. And what does your program here do exactly, so that everyone can know?
Okay, our dental program is, first of all, we've had a stationary operatory in Stratford Academy, Johnson House, and it was actually 30 years. This year was our anniversary. We were able to, we've always done restorative as well as preventive services.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, this program, it was sustained on very minimal fees being paid for by Husky,
Mm-hmm.
and we have now grown. We were able to procure a grant through Delta Dental, Stratford Rotary Club helped us out, and the women's organization here in Stratford also helped us out. We were able to purchase portable equipment. Last year we opened up and started going to 4 mobile sites, and now we are expanding through the grant that you and I have been working on, hopefully to 2 other sites as well as a location here at Stratford Health Department.
And what do you expect for these sites to bring to the...
The goal is that we really want to make sure that children are receiving their oral health care, all right? We want both preventive as well as restorative, because without one or the other, you're not completing the oral health needs for the patient, and we're still dealing with the obstacles that we have. By going mobile, the goal was to break down some of those obstacles to increase the number of children being seen. If you actually look at the stats in Connecticut, about between 60 and 70% of the children who are on Husky utilize the oral health services to the maximum. What's happening to the other 30 to 40%?
Yes.
We want to be able to try and capture them. The other thing that I'm also looking at is that now with the Affordable Care Act, we are looking at other insurances that are out there for our children. And many of these folks are having $3,000 deductibles, which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
so our goal is to be able to try and offer them services. We're trying to branch out and add other insurances on board as well, so that we can not only do those who are regular commercial insurance, but also those children who are under the Affordable Care Act.
That's amazing, trying to get everyone involved. It's hard.
And
I've
yes,
seen,
we've been working on,
it's definitely
on our application process, that these applications are not a piece of cake to be able to get enrolled in these insurances.
And my last question is there any advice you have for me in the future?
Okay. Stay on top of your profession.
Yes.
Okay. Keep learning. There's always something to learn. Do not let yourself become stagnant, no matter what you do. If you end up behind a desk doing something somewhere along the line, always make sure that you're learning what's actually going on out there in your profession, and then be open to working with other professions side by side.
Yes, I've learned it's a very big group. It's not just one person. It's a lot of collaborative work, communication, and a lot of effort. So that's all. Thank you again, Bernie. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys and learn.
You've been a big help to me, believe me.
Thank you.